for you.
Good morning, everybody, from the streets of Dhaka. Now, if you believe what my wife was telling you, she would say the only thing you can do in Dhaka is sit in a chair and eat food. However, I disagree. I think there's an adventure to be had every day in this city. Join us as we adventure around some of the not very well known about places. Let's do this. The first place that we've stumbled into is something called the Christian Cemetery in Dhaka. We're in a place called Wari, which is like near the old town of Dhaka. And this whole graveyard was built by Portuguese traders about 400 years ago. Before the British came into the subcontinent of India and conquered it and ruined it with most of its war and trading aspirations, the Portuguese were here, the Armenians were here, setting up trading posts with South Asia. A very rich area. In fact, Dhaka at that time and Bangladesh, the area of Bangla, would have been one of the richest areas in South Asia before it was all extracted by us horrible whiteys. So this graveyard is built during that time period, and there are several tombs and things that are undiscovered and that most people don't really know about. There's even a mass grave in here as well. See, people in this graveyard would have been around during some of the most tumultuous times in Bangladesh's recent history. And Bangladesh has only been a country for the last 50 or so years, and it's seen so much change in that time. And to think that these people were all living here during those times as well, it's pretty incredible. I'm getting stared at by people from the balcony now. In this graveyard too, there's also I don't actually know the numbers of it, but there's probably a few hundred or even thousand people that died during the 1934, that died during the famine in the early 20th century. Of course, a famine that was caused by Churchill, caused by the British, and killed up towards 4 million people and over in the Bengali famine. But those bodies are not marked here. It's all unmarked graves, but they're possibly buried somewhere within inside this cemetery. I think the dome might mean that it's Mughal inspired architecture, which means this could be up to 400 years old, and it is completely ancient. You can see the old brickwork here, jagged but still intact after many, many years. And this is where the body's buried, but there is no inscription on it whatsoever. But it's a tomb to somebody who died, who was presumably extremely important. But maybe this is where the plaque used to be, but now no longer exists. You're literally exploring things that are part of ancient history, but not many people know about, or research about, or have any inkling of what actually happened here. Very cool stuff, and you can even see that the trees are starting to grow through the tomb as well, through the dome concrete. Very cool. And over here we've got some monolith structures as well. I mean, this is a tomb here that's actually got the inscription still intact. Mrs. Sarah Pot, relic of the late R.P. Pot, Esquire, resident of Lucknow. September, so they died in September 1807, so 200 years ago. Very interesting. Let's go and explore some more. What's that? Monkey? Where? Okay, careful of the graves. Oh my goodness. It's my first Bangladesh up close experience with a monkey. Hang on, how does the zoom work on this camera?
There's a grave here.
Okay, I won't stand on the grave. Can you see that monkey there? As I slowly zoom in. Wow. I wonder what type of monkey it is.
A baboon, probably.
He looks well fed. I think it's a baboon.
Well, if you walk, you would know.
Baboons are the scary ones, though. What are the ones that you're not supposed to be scared of?
Should be scared of them all.
Scared of them all.
They're wild.
I really want to get closer to the monkey. But how close do I dare get? He does look well fed, but he also looks extremely strong as well. Here we go. White man gets harassed by disease-ridden monkey. I don't know if you can hear the faint buzzing sound and the beeping sound of outside of Dhaka, but it's actually really peaceful inside here. There's basically no noise. It's quite beautiful, really. It's quite serene. The light shining through the trees. Okay, let's go. Interesting fact I learned about South Asians is that medically, people that are from South Asia or have South Asian genetics have a higher risk of diabetes. And the reason why they have a higher risk of diabetes is because as a people, they've had to endure so many famines, mostly caused by the British Empire within the last 200 years or so. I think there was about 4 famines that killed millions of people. And if your body goes for a famine, you get more used to like controlling blood sugar levels. So that's why diabetes now is such a problem amongst South Asians, because, and directly related to, colonial repression. So if you just thought it had like a political consequence or an economic consequence, no, it also had a genetic consequence as well. That's how pernicious and evil it really was. On a brighter note, I think we found a temple that's actually not fallen into disrepair. It looks like it's being renovated in some way as well. I think this one was a Portuguese graveyard. Obviously the Portuguese were here trading spices and different resources, different clothing as well. So that's why there are so many graveyards like that here. But not just the Portuguese trade era, the Mughal era as well, and now also people that have died in a matter of years ago. Very interesting. Look, it's a Clark to the memory of Henry Clark of the Bengal Civil Service, son of the late Reverend Alexander Clark as well. Died in 1840, 1870. I will mark this Clark down though, because it doesn't have an E at the end, which we all know those Clarks are not to be trusted. Anyway, let's head back out into the city and go and see what else we can find on the streets of Dhaka. Let's go.
আরে এই ছেলেমেয়েরা তোরা ঘুমে থেকে ওঠ উইঠা দরজার উপরে তাকে দেখবি কবুতরের খোপ আর খোপের ভিতরে টোপ রাখলে সাপে দিব ছোপ আবে হোপ বেটা চোপ দিমু টোপ খাবি কোপ আর টেনিস বলে টেপে নাকি ছেপের উপরে লেপে ক্যাপে চেপে বাংলা র্যাপে কলে টেপে চলে খেপে আরেকজন রে দেখে দেখা পরীক্ষাতে লেখে ওলা জ্যাকেট পিন্দা র্যাকেট খেলা বাড়ির ভিতরে প্যাকেট Bashi in the ball, kashi in the con, chiki in the jaw, loge lati in the law. Ar madur bisay matite bo, ar monete ko, togo koto koira jeli keji lage raw. Akila.
All beautiful arches and a pretty standard gate, but nice and big.
When did you graduate as an architectural historian?
2024.
We've made it to somewhere called Lalbagh Fort, which, to be honest, is one of the main tourist things that you can do in Dhaka. But you can see why, because it is super impressive. For a city that's so congested and has business going on in every alleyway and every swamp, this is a super open site with some very old, ancient Mughal forts and buildings. This was built by the Mughals when they came down. When Babur, I can't remember his name, Babur, something came down from Afghanistan basically and helped set up one of the largest empires that ruled this area for hundreds and hundreds of years. In that time they built forts and they really built up the whole of South Asia before again the East India Company came along and ruined it all. That will be a common theme of everywhere that I show you today. But anyway, not as unique as the Christian graveyard, but still very impressive nonetheless. let's go and explore the fort.
Well, it is Mughal architecture after all. They did have a lake here.
All right, were the Mughals also responsible for the Taj Mahal?
Yeah, Shah Jahan.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Here you go, another one of Dan's ignorant moments. I didn't know that the Taj Mahal was also designed under the Mughal Empire dynasty as well. But essentially, this, what was it called again? Lalbagh Fort. Lalbagh Fort is basically like Bangladesh's Taj Mahal, but a lot less busier.
Because it's a fort, there used to be escape tunnels. I don't know, somewhere in the fort there are some escape tunnels. Forgot where it used to go because I came here 25 years ago. But you could see the entrance, and then we went to a relative's house in this old Dhaka area. And his house also had an escape tunnel that came close to this area. So basically there were interconnected tunnels that allowed you to escape back in the days, and I thought it was very cool because that was like a fantasy for me.
To escape?
No, like there would be, I don't know, intruders and you would be able to escape and the good guys would win in the end, whatever. That sort of thing. Look at that.
Had a picture of me taken then, without my permission. Consent is really not a word that translates well in Bangladesh. I tell you, if you're the self-conscious type that doesn't like to be stared at, this is the wrong country for you. Especially if you're holding a camera, like a pleb. Anyway, all this history has made me hungry. Let's go and get a snack. We're here in Dhaka University, just getting a snack. You can just walk into the campus. There's no security. Just come in and start using the student canteen. It's like a egg toast, which is 20 taka, which is about 2p. Delicious. Is that Shaheed Minar going to India? Yeah.
Are you liking the...
It's really interesting.
Very
Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
How are you liking it?
Good, yeah. This is the first time I'm seeing it. I live in US, so I just got back and decided to come here and see it myself.
Yeah.
I saw it on the TV, but I haven't seen it before.
Yeah, it's interesting. Dhaka University, obviously, a few months ago was only just the scene of another revolution that happened in Bangladesh, and throughout the highly corrupt Sheikh Hasina, who was the daughter of the founding father, Sheikh Mujib's daughter. But in July, there were massive protests. Students were killed on the street by police and army all over the summer of 2024. Now Sheikh Hasina fled to India on there and been chased away by the students and the army and the police. Well, a new government was formed just a few months ago, and there are several key student leaders that were part of the new cabinet of the government as well. So a revolution that has been cemented and is now taking part in a transition government for the next 2 years before they start doing elections again. Very cool. Let's go and check out some more of the graffiti along the campus walls of Dhaka University. Let's go. This graffiti tells such interesting stories about their recent history, and students have been a massive element of Bangladeshi society. Before it was even founded, back in the 50s, there was a student protest that was for a pro-Bangladeshi language, because back when it was West and East Pakistan, the Pakistanis were forcing Urdu as the state language, but obviously Bangladeshi and the Bangla language is ancient as well. And there were students that stood up for that and were mercilessly killed by the authorities at that time. So not only are they relevant now, but they've been relevant throughout most Bangladeshi history.
Sale. Back in 1952, the students went on a march, and as far as I know, they were gunned down by the then Pakistani government, which was ruled mainly by West Pakistan, while this was East Pakistan.
Maybe in a few years' time they'll have a new monument to show the sacrifices of the students for the 2024 revolution as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our trip, our adventure around Dhaka, and I'll see you next time. Say goodbye. You going in here?
যদি এই সরকার ব্যর্থ হয়, পতিত সরকার আর ভারতীয় দালাল লাইন লাভবান হবে। সুতরাং ছাত্রদের উচ্ছ্বাস আবেগ ভালো, আমরা শ্রদ্ধা জানাই। তরুণদের অনেক ভূমিকা রয়েছে। আজ আমাদের দেশে বাংলাদেশ